So Josh, I'm going to read a quote of yours. I don't know if you know it's a quote of yours, but it's you should set out to have the type of practice slash firm that works for you and your family, not the type of practice slash firm you're told you should have or that everyone else has.
Yeah. That's. I think that is one of my quotes. I steal a lot from other people, but I think that we live in a very interesting time in the world right now. We live in a very interesting profession that we have, being lawyers, and it gives us the flexibility to do that very thing.
Right.
And that's been my goal, is to figure out what is it that's best for me, for my family. I do injury work, which you do too, and you can get overwhelmed with the billboards and social media posts and bigger. And so I think people fall into that trap of thinking that's what you have to be. My whole thing is you don't have to. Do what's best for you.
Yeah. How do you avoid that? Because I'll find myself sometimes, and it's very rare, but I do occasionally find myself, I'll see a verdict. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, I almost fall in the trap, like when's that going to happen to me? But then like, that's nonsense. Quit talking. But how do you stay out of that mindset?
Boy, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm great at it. I try. What is it? They say thief is the steals joy, or whatever that quote is. Not, that's not how it is, but being jealous or something is the thief of joy. But however that quote goes, and I think about that a lot. It's like, just do what's best for you. Try to ignore the outside noise. Be happy for your friends, happy for your peers. There's a quote that a lot of lawyers use here in Georgia, that the rising tide lifts all boats. I don't know if y'all.
Yeah. I love that. I love it.
I think about that a lot too. It's like, we're all in this together. One person does good, that's good for all of us. Don't be jealous. Be happy, and just don't try to compare yourself to everybody else.
Now, where does that come from? Is that something, growing up, that your parents instilled that in you?
Maybe. My dad's very humble. My mom's very humble. Good family, great family, had everything we needed, but we didn't ever need more. I think that you get to a certain spot where it's like, hey, we've got our basic necessities met. We've got everything we can ask for. Our kids are healthy. It's like, how much more do you need?
Right.
And so at that point, you start looking at other ways you can fulfill your life. And I guess that's what I've tried to work hard on. It's like, our kids are going to be in our house for between 18 and 20 something years, depending upon how many you have. And that's an important time in all of our lives. And I just made the decision that I'm not going to sacrifice, those years.
Yeah. Why personal injury?
Well, I guess I can back it up to why law school. I went to Georgia, we talked about that, and then loved Athens and wanted to stay in Athens for a few more years. I'm like, hey, law school is pretty good. So I went to law school, and then my first job was working for an insurance company, Progressive, doing all their car wreck stuff. So I don't know if I set out to do that necessarily. That's where the job was. Back then, you kind of took what you could get.
Sure.
Worked for great people, was on the defense side, learned a ton, went from there to a bigger defense firm, and then realized after 14, 15 years that working for the individual was going to be the better spot, and not just defending the corporation.
Yeah. So what year was that, roughly?
Graduated law school 04.
04.
So I did 2 years for Progressive, which was great. And then from 06 to 17 or so, worked for a large defense firm, and then switched sides. I guess 7, 8 years now. Goes by fast, doesn't it?
That is crazy. Yeah. So you started the firm roughly in a time whenever your firm, in a time where the market was not great, right?
Well, 2020 I started it, which then became COVID like 3 months later.
Okay, you were working for a firm before that, so you started. Okay,
I was
gotcha.
2017. I joined with a buddy of mine, worked for his firm for a couple of years, an up-counsel role, learned kind of how to do the plaintiff side of it.
Right.
Felt like I got a little more bona fide, on the plaintiff side. And me and him still were in the same office space, great friends. 2020, I decided to open my own firm, and then March is when COVID happened. So there's never a perfect time to start a firm. That's what I always tell people. And I felt like if I or somebody can get through those kind of hurdles, then kind of be good with anything.
Yeah.